Thank you. Yes, and we're live. Oh my goodness, Kems, you're the first one. Hi. How you doing? Hello. Ofunne, how you doing? Hello. Titi, nice to have you. How you doing? Thanks for joining me on here. Nice to have you. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, it's Sunday afternoon. I know it feels a bit strange me having a live Sunday afternoon. Like I said, this is Mom's Word. This is the first in the series on Mom's Word. And this is a time before now, thanks, Titi. Before now, we've been doing Young and Strong, and AuntyTeeTalks has been doing Young and Strong, where I've been talking to young people. Hello, Ofunne. Aunty, how you doing? And I've been talking to the young people. Kemi are calling me a bush alpha, and I've been talking to young people about what it's like being young. And I've had this vision always that as I talk to young people, it's not going to be enough to find out what they're doing with life and all that. That I would also be interested in the perspective of parents. And that's what brought about Mom's Word. And today, like I said, this is the first in the series. And over the course of the months, I'm going to be talking to young people, and then I'm going to be talking to moms as well as to what it's like actually parenting a young person. What are the challenges? What do we do as we go on that journey with them through their teenage years, through their young adulthood, and to find out everybody's perspective and to find out what we can do better in our generation for them. And for the young people that are going to come on here, what they're going to say about, okay, Mom, would rather you did this or you did that. And it promises, for me, I think it's going to be a very interesting time. I think it's going to be a time when we learn. It's also be a time when we kind of like meet minds and we continue to understand, how to work with our young people, not handle them, not instruct them, not necessarily, but actually how to work with them. One thing one of my young people said, hi Mokwe, how you doing? One thing that one of my young people said that I found amazing and it's still really, really working in my mind. He said, everybody talks about, that's my Mokwe too. I've got two friends that are called Mokwe. Nice to see you, Mokwe Afoja, and I've got Mokwe Oliedi. And one thing he said was that we keep talking about the older and the younger generation. He said that as long as we're all on earth, we're all one generation, we're just in different stages. And I thought, wow. I found that really, really mind-blowing. And I think sometimes when we look at it from the perspective of these young people, it's amazing the things they come up with. So I'm not going to talk too much about myself. Today I've got a wonderful, wonderful friend who's going to be talking from a mom's perspective. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I know she sent me her request, so I'm just going to bring her on immediately. And we're just going to take, please feel free to chime in your comments. I've got some dads on here. I've got some men. I've got, everybody. Just put in your comment. Put in your chat. Mama G.
Hello.
Mama G. Hello.
Okay.
We made
Hello.
I'm loving the hair. I'm loving the
Try.
Look at us on Insta Live. This is amazing.
I know. You won't believe all the work that took place to be able to get this done behind the scenes.
But we're here.
Going to be instructing me, telling me doing this, do that. But I'm grateful for that.
We will not embarrass you. Don't worry. We got this moment. This is my wonderful, wonderful friend Ofunne Gwam. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good. So we're just going to get right to it. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my gosh, tell us a little bit about myself. Okay, my name is Ofunne Gwam, and Aunty T, like you see here, calls me Mama G. Well, I don't know how that started, but it's stuck now. I'm a mother of one, and yes, and I've been married 26 years. I'm a HR business specialist, and I've been teaching children in KICC for about probably 15 years. And before then, in Keston Temple. So I've been working with children, and I also volunteer with secondary school children, also bringing them to the world of work and looking at, the best way they can navigate life in the world of work.
So you've got
So,
quite a lot of experience. Well, should we call it experience? At least you've been in the lives of young people. You've been in the life
yeah.
of your daughter, and you've been in the life of other young people, right?
Yes, and even before my daughter was born, being in the life of my nieces and nephew, teenagers, one of them who's actually now a mom, and her son is now my grandson, we say, feel so proud. So yes, I have been in the life of young people
For quite
for
a
a while.
Okay, right. We're just going to.
Oh, the hair is getting in the way.
You have to go and two shop to come on this. Don't worry.
Mm.
We're not doing too badly. I can see quite a few of your people on there just saying hello to you. The first question I'm gonna ask, and I think it's something that people bringing up young people. I've seen that sometimes you've done some things and you're like, have you ever had some thoughts? I mean, I know your daughter's a little older than teenager now. Golibe, sorry. But have you had some moments when you've had like the if I knew now if I knew then what I know now? Are there some things that you did then that you think now I would do differently if I had the
Hmm. Okay. Thinking about that question. So, yeah, one or two. One or two. One of the ones I would think about is probably I might have. If Gulubi is listening, it's not really me here. It's just a clone, So I might have been, actually Gulubi being an only child, I might have been a teeny little bit harder on her because she was an only child, and then maybe looking at it now, you know, I probably would do one of the things a bit different, but it doesn't mean that what I did, but yeah, but I think that question of, her being an only child, that, that was I tended to be a bit harder on her at times. And, so if I look differently now, I probably might do it a bit different. If there's there's some things I've learned, and funnily enough, learned through her. I think it's that one of the things I've learned that I actually think is a really good skill for parents to have. Well, it is the listening skill, about listening to our teenagers. And because, sometimes I like the sound of my voice, saying, this is
I know it. I'm your mother. I know it.
there was a funny saying of like when she was younger, I'm the mom and you're the daughter, what I say goes, kind of thing. And so sometimes when I say that to her, before I even finish, she's actually saying it after me. But is that notion of I'm the mom and you're the daughter, and then what I say goes. But over time, not saying that yes I am the mom, but hey, but it's over time knowing that the listening skill is quite important, where you listen not only to what they're saying or what they're not saying, so that listening skill of, okay, what is it I can get from here? What is it she's saying? Not saying, yes, I know,
Not you
I think I'm
words, but
background.
be able to read behind the
Yes, to be able to use
that.
that. Yes. So
Okay.
kind of, yeah. So, it's one of the skills that, it's interesting. Funny enough, in what I do, listening is quite important. But, thinking about, I guess again, it's my background, thinking about, being an African, the mom, it's yes, what you say goes and everything is, and forgetting that listening skill. So, but yes, is that listening skill about, listening to what she's saying and what she's not saying,
Okay.
because you pick up a lot from that.
Okay. I've seen quite a number of people. My sisters joined. Sister Books, hello. Timmy, nice to see you. I can see one of your friends, Mama G. So there are quite a number of people joining. Like I said, this is Mom's Word, and we're looking at the perspective of being a mom to a young person, a young adult or a teenager. What are the things we could do better? What are the things we wish, oh gosh, I wish I had known now. I knew then what I know now. one question that really I wonder, and I know quite a number of people that have joined us. I mean, this is something I'm wondering how you all handle it. How do you straddle the two cultures? When I say the two cultures, I know quite a number of people on here are from, other ethnic backgrounds. Like I've got Africans, I've got Caribbeans, and we're all in the Western world, and our children are growing up with this, but we've still got our culture. How do you, or how did you straddle that? How did you handle that sort of dichotomy with your daughter? And how do you think we can do that better?
Well, one thing I forgot to actually say before I answer that question is I'm not an expert. I'm talking about my experiences, and and I believe in learning from experiences. So how do you straddle that? For me, that was balancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm an African Nigerian, to be precise, true and true, and I was brought up by African parents. And too, also with our African parents, when we were growing up, it's about, that thing about that word that's not said, is it children that
Seen and not heard.
and the children are seen and not heard, and what our parents say goes, and we tell them. And I mean, I didn't turn out badly, you didn't. It works. So that balance, and also times have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Times have changed. It's that balance of taking bits of, the good bits, taking good bits from our, my African culture, and taking good bits from the British culture. And I know there was one popular thing I used to say with Granny Bear, actually. It was about, African, I'm African mom 80% and British mom 20%. And then she would say to me, nah, 95% African mom and 5% British mom. But yes, it's about, so it's that balance. And then remembering, when we grew up, things were different.
Okay.
I'm not saying that, things were different. I'm not saying that we don't have, because at the end of the day, our parents, when my parents brought me up, those are the way things were. And there are things that we got to learn. I mean, they taught us about respect, the respecting of your seniors, your elders. And when you look at a lot of young children nowadays, and where that respect doesn't mean anything, it's one of the things, to me, that was important to me. And I thought it was, because when you respect people older than you, or even respect people, when you actually, even after school, going into the workplace, you will know, you also know to respect your colleagues.
Okay, so it's a professional as well, not just...
Yes. And then when you talk about the British side of thing, again, I bring up this listening, about where we parents, okay, if this is what I've said, this is what you need to do. If you don't do this, I will do this to you. If you don't, whatever it is all about, all our, maybe the comments being, if you don't do this, I'll do that. I'm not saying, for myself, and I mean, yes, as a parent, there are times when I will, I say to her, I need her to do this. And especially, that bit, when my parents did that a lot, where when they tell you to do something, you need to do it now. It's not like in your own time. It's not in like, it's not when I finish watching TV, or it's not when no. And so when the same thing I'm going to go, if I tell you that, oh, mom, I'm coming. No, now. I need you to do it now. And as far as I'm concerned, why is she not doing it now? Why must it be when it's not time? I'm thinking, no. But, with time, the guys, you understand, negotiating. That negotiating us, and, okay. Okay, mom, I will do it. I will do it. I'm just trying to, there's something I'm filming. I just need to just finish it. So that listening to see, okay, actually, it's not out of disrespect. There's something she just needs to finish. Let her finish it, and then she'll come and do it. But the initial stages are like, I need her to do it now. Why is she not doing it now? So it's that listening, balance. Yeah, it's that balance. And then again, I know we're talking about teenagers. They were kids before they became teenagers. There's some things you teach them from when they're quite young. You got to teach them that. You can't teach them when they're teenagers. It's like, there's one being my bonnet for me is about, when it comes to like that greeting of people that are older than you. Right from when she was younger, I was honing that in. I know with the weather, you got the weather where it says morning, afternoon, evening. I remember, I said to her, you don't just see someone older than you and just you're looking at them. And when you see kids doing that, They may not have been taught, and but the culture, the African culture I come from, yeah, they're teaching you that. They teach you that with respect, and you do. It's a case of like you teach the child. You don't come when the child is a teenager and try to teach the child that then. I don't think you didn't do it when they were younger. Why would they? What makes you think that
now? But I mean, like I said, but maybe in the cultures they're in now, how do we?
Yeah.
As maybe let me give a good example. And before I do that, let me just
Okay.
say hello. I've seen some people come. Sister Janet, I can see you. Thanks for coming, Sister Toying. I can see quite a number of people, and I'm sure please chime in. I can see. I mean, Kemi, my sister, saying there's a balance between both cultures, and we have to align them. So, for example, okay, let me give you a good example. In our culture, let me say I'm a Yoruba person. When we greet, we kind of kneel or they prostrate
Yeah.
or something like that. But the kids I mean, when you tell them to do it here, it's a bit embarrassing. You're like, nobody's kind of like doing that, and how do you balance that? Because I've seen some kids do it. I mean, but
Yeah.
those kind of things that are a bit, well, should I say, they don't really appear that cool. You understand? For you, it's still a measure of respect. Are there some things about our culture that would be like, okay, I can balance it. You see, my friends said they tell you it's not cool. That we can kind of like understand, or do we like import our culture wholesale and say, look, if you don't do this one, you're in trouble, that kind of thing. So what can we is
I
there
think
we can
I think, for example, like, the prostrating that's in Yoruba culture, for the prostrating, for example, if you're, again, you're telling a child to do something, why are they doing it? Because sometimes
yeah.
we're telling children these things, oh, you did it, but we don't explain the reason. You don't explain, the culture. Remember, they're not back home in Nigeria. Explain the importance, explain what it means. And, children, don't give them credit. They these children that we have are children of tomorrow. They are actually, they don't take our culture for granted. They do, they do. Yes. So, but when you don't explain and just say to them, you must do it, that's what we do, and they don't understand what they're doing. So I don't think it's about, for me, I don't think it's about saying to them, okay, oh, okay, let's remove this, let's not do this. Again, like someone just said, it's about balancing. Is explain to them about the culture, the reason why you do that. There's a reason, the respect to I've seen when, I mean, Yoruba people getting married. These are people that are even older than teenagers. For them to, or people, you're coming to marry their daughter, you have to fall flat on the floor. You're going to say to the man that you're married, the father, that I'm not going to do that. You want the woman.
I don't think you want to marry them.
Exactly. So, but I think again, it's talking, telling them the reason, I'm not just even telling them the reason why, but talking about the culture, explaining to them. And, yes. And it's consistent again. It's not about when they're 15, you say to them, you have to prostrate. Where were you when they were 2, 3, 4? Upwards, and then come the 15 teenager, you take the child out and you say to the child, you're prostrating. That's what you do, but you never
So
said
you
it.
need to start a bit young. I mean, if you're going to, I mean, inculcate a value into a child, then don't wait till they're like 16 or like 15 or like
No,
from when they're
no,
12. They're already forming they're already forming their character,
yeah,
already hanging out with other kids, and it's like you're not telling them to kind of stand out from the crowd. It can be a bit, uncool.
yeah. Because even the British culture, they do have their values also. So it's they're here in the UK, you're here in the, so it's about balancing that, and then starting a bit younger. Don't come at teenage years and say you need to be doing this, especially with the prostrating. Then you wonder why the child's not doing it. You're just telling the child now they're a teenager when they're already formed, when their years are formed. So it's about that balance, and it's about the balancing, and also about where we are, making sure that we're
Well,
weighing the two.
don't want them to be completely different from their peers at the same time. I mean,
No,
don't want them. I think
very true.
with some of my young people, I think they call them freshies or something like that. That's it.
Yes.
But which is not very nice. But of course, there has to be the balance. there's something else. The young people were saying that can parents can they allow themselves to be criticized? Can we make ourselves vulnerable? One of my young people that I talked to said, we had this culture where we come across to our kids as if everything was good with us when we were younger. We handled, we were the best teenagers ever and all that. And then, and then we try and make them think that's how life is supposed to be. And so there's this demand. We never show them the sides that were not very nice. So can we dare to be vulnerable? Can we dare to take criticism from our own kids?
Okay, I won't use the word criticism, right?
That's not
again, me being mom. No, but honestly, actually, constructive feedback. I think there's nothing wrong in taking constructive feedback from our kids, and it's important. Yeah, constructive feedback, because when you give constructive feedback, you're trying to explain without criticizing. It's not the nicer way to do it. Constructive feedback, like the sandwich, you give the mom, I think, whatever it is, and then you're doing this, like everything, and then you put the good, not so good, and good in between. So I think it's good. It's important we take constructive feedback from our kids, especially as they grow older. And yes, let's be vulnerable to an extent in front of them, because at the end of the day, if you're painting this picture of things were always good, or you're this popular room, when we're growing up, our parents were always first and second, and nobody was ever last. Remember, things were always good. You don't give them incidences of what has happened when you were younger, things that were not so well. It's like I think one of the things I've shared about when we were growing up and when we're in trouble, and my dad, I think of the popular one I've shared about, when my dad smacks, and then there's one I did, and he smacked and I weed on myself, kind of thing. Yes, smacking is not allowed now, but that's the kind of thing about things I've done, or we've driven at my dad's car, and then my younger sister and my brother hit it in. I was part of the crew, but the fact was they now took it back, and then when my dad came back, what happened? There was a bash on the can. We just packed it in, but we paid the price for that. But sharing those kind of stories so that okay, it's not so whatever it is. Sharing those kind of stories, and then what the consequences also were for what I did. Yeah. Consequences were for what I did, and then things like that. I think it's important, because if they don't see that, they will feel, God, my parents were really, everything was perfect when they were growing up. I can't afford to be messed up. And we talk about peer pressure. That will be another pressure for them. I've got to be like how my parents were.
Because they're perfect, because they see.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, I've got to be how my parents were. An interesting one, actually. Like I said, it's your mom's clone, not really me here. So anything I said, the favorite one is in her final year at university. The pressure was on. Trying to get a good grade. She was working hard, trying, to get a good grade. And one of the times I had a conversation with her over the phone. I saying to her, look, she was aiming for a 2-1. I said, what, even if you don't make a 2-1, yeah, but I really wanted it to, but mommy still loves you, whatever, don't worry about it and everything. After all, your dad and we didn't make a 2-1, we made a 2-2. She was like, what? I always had the impression you guys did. But I never told her that, but she had that impression.
That you were
yes.
The top of
yes, but I said to her, just because I want the best for you does not mean, when I said to her, no, we did make 2-2s, but I want you to strive for it. Yeah.
Better than, we can say be better than us, not that,
yes, exactly. But that was the impression she had. Wow. But not that I said. So, you don't want them to have that, you don't want them to be under pressure that, you're perfect, because come on, we're not.
No.
I mean, we got up to things. Well, tell them,
no, I'm close, but No, another thing, true. Another thing that they talked about, and that I keep wondering, is they're very comfortable discussing their issues with their peers. But they think that what some of them, I think more than one of them said was, they would only come to the parents as a last resort when it's like
Mm.
after you is the police or something like that.
Mm. Yeah.
Can we get our kids to make us like, I mean, a first resort, or they know they're comfortable, you can come and talk to me? When does that start, and how can we start that rather than they're more comfortable with their pressure with their peers? One moment, my sister, it's important to help them adopt a growth mindset and how to navigate real life. That's true. Like you said, we're not perfect, and when we show them we're not perfect, then do you understand? They know
Yeah.
if they have their stumbles, then they're growing like we grew into
Yeah.
it,
Exactly.
rather than the pressure of perfection. So, like I was saying, Mama G, how can we get them to talk to us?
Uh, it's all about, okay, like first things, talking to their peers and talking to us. I don't think it should be an either or, no, in the first place. I think it should be both. But though, in actually being, it's important that we know that our kids can come to us. But again, it's not overnight. You need to build those relationships. If you haven't built a relationship with your child, and all you do is talk at your child, you know, there's no relationship where you spend time actually just talking just ordinary stuff. You don't build from when you have your girly time, or where you just mess about, or you don't have those times where you can just have a chit chat. And then I remember actually saying to the but this is her growing up, saying, oh, um you can tell your mom anything. You don't keep secrets from your mom. This is when she was quite young. We always having this, and then giving her that room to actually speak. So and then also talking about everything. So when she was from quite younger, we talk about boys. And I remember myself and her dad, we mess about to say, oh, there's that, who's that guy? Is that guy your boyfriend? Oh, mom, no, he's not. Just general things so that okay, we can talk about boys. So if you build that relationship between yourself and your child, when it gets to that time when
Seriously,
they need, yes, and let them know that that they can talk to you about serious issues. So even if it means initially they might go to a peer, but they will come to you, because one of the things we shouldn't deceive ourselves is that you want a situation where your child will only talk to you and not their peers. No, no, I don't think so.
no,
So
no.
I don't, yeah, because there there are some things their peers see things the way they do. But I'm not saying that they don't come to you. Yes, they'll come to you, but they will also go to their peers. But the fact that that your child will be able to come to you when the child is in a dire situation, a dire situation where I know that I can speak to my mom. I know that my mom and I can figure it out. I know that, not that fear that, gosh, if I go to my mom, if I go to my mom, my mom's going to kill me. Yes. And it takes time. Again, our background. It takes time, but it's that building those relationships, listening, trying to change the narrative, the strict parent. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be listening, but it's that balance, having that balance. So all those things together, yeah, having that balance, letting them. So yeah.
So it's a building thing. It's not as if it's just going to happen, and it's not like you have to come and tell me everything, because one of the young people said it's not so much what you say, but who is saying it. That the fact that you're my parent doesn't mean everything you say I'll take. It depends on the relationship you have with me. And I thought that was quite, mind-boggling, because you would assume that as the parent they will listen to you, but he said it doesn't matter that you're my parent. What kind of relationship do you have with me? And I mean, that took me back a little bit.
So you see, so that's key. That's why it is key that, as much as we're their parent, we also want to build a relationship that we're their friend. Because if a child, yes,
because sometimes you wonder, do you want to be your child's friend, or do you want to be a parent? I mean, is there a way you can do that together successfully? Because you don't want them.
Yeah, you can, but it's just not, well, when I say friend, I don't mean that friend in the sense that, you know, when the child do something wrong, oh, hey, it's fine. You know, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
You know, where you draw the line. When I mean friend, that's in, you know, they know that they can have a conversation with you, but at the same time, you will tell them when they're wrong. You will, you know, they also know the consequences of when they've done something wrong. They also know the boundaries. They also know, you know, things like when I say about being friendly, for example, they grow older, they're in university, for example, and then your child says to you, "Oh, mom, I'm not in uni this weekend. I'm going to Birmingham. Maybe they're in Nottingham. They're going to Birmingham." That's a relationship. That's friendly, whatever, because they don't have to tell you. They can go. They won't tell you. They can go, and then you still won't know.
Yes.
But that relationship that you built, you know, as a friend, oh, mom, I'm not going to be in you this weekend. I'm going to Birmingham. I'm going to see my friend. And they give you the answer. So you know where they are at, you know, every point in time. But they don't have to.
They don't
Oh, they can do a not.
tell
And
you.
then
But
there's nothing you can do about that.
But if you build that friendship, then
Yeah.
they're like, it's my mom, you know.
Yes,
I can talk to
exactly.
her. And even
Yeah.
when not the positives, because it's very easy to discuss the positives with your mom. But
Yes.
when things are
When
going,
it comes to, yeah,
you know, of
exactly.
course, that you're like, should I tell her? Should I not tell her? You know, yeah. And I think, like, I mean, like Kem said, it grows through different stages. And I think sometimes parents assume that their child remains a child. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And so you think, how, I mean, when he was 6, he listened to me. Now he's 13. How come he's not listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then he's 25 and he doesn't even want you to come near them. Because, do you think it's because we don't realize that different stages require different kind of relationships, even as a parent?
Yes, different stages require different relationship, but you know, as a mom, it is hard. You know when you get them when they're so small. Oh my cute baby. Oh yeah. Oh when she's so cute. Oh when I dress her, you know with the yeah, you're dressing her up, and then they're like, no, okay now. Or when she feels this is not cool anymore, and I know sometimes I say to go to be honest, and I say, oh we are now getting time. Mom, we just had, you know, or when she wants to spend more time, and it is difficult for a mom because you know you've watched them grow, you've had the, you know, where they needed your attention, and the less attention they need from you, the more, like, exactly, you know, the more I get a bit needy. I'm saying, oh, you know, exactly.
Are you the child now?
uh-huh. Well, and then, you know, I think sometimes when they say, mom, stop being needy, I'm like, okay.
All right.
You know, but she's messing up. But you know what I mean? But exactly, or you know, she's saying to me, but it's that. So that, you know, being able to move from one stage to another it can be hard. But it's just that you need to recognize that
That as it
it's actually,
got you.
yes, as they grow, and then try to fit in the next stage of that relationship, because you can still have that relationship, but it's just different.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there's something that I wanted to ask as well. It's something that happened even for me as a young adult or adult. It's parents discussing their kids with other parents.
Okay.
Now, one of some of I seem to be referring a lot to what the young people said. Somebody said we need to seek counsel from each other as parents. That parents should ask each other about their, you know, you can discuss. But I remember as a time my mom discussed one of my issues with a friend of hers, and I didn't like it.
Hmm.
I don't discuss me with anybody else. So how can you get counsel? I don't know if
Without,
you can help me. If you can help me here, how can you get counsel from another parent, a friend, or not, without necessarily your child feeling like you're betraying their trust, you know, or that you're talking? How do they say it? You're carrying their gist.
they are carrying their gist along.
How can, how can
I
we
think
how can
actually,
we balance that? Because I think we need it as parents. We do need each other's counsel, but at the same time, you don't want your child thinking, I mean, mom, I mean, how come the whole all this a village raises a child? Do I have to be the village child? You know, that kind of thing. so, so good Lord, how can we balance that? Seek
I
counsel.
think, yeah, okay. I think I understand where the teenagers, the young ones are coming from, because also when I was growing up, but that's a bit different. When I was growing up, where if my dad say, oh, this person's child did this, blah blah blah, how come you were doing that? I'm like,
It's that.
why is he comparing me? But now this is not the comparing stage. But I think I won't call it getting counsel.
Mm.
What I call it for me is learning from experiences, learning from other
Yeah.
parents' experiences. Yeah, learning from other moms. I think because you can't do it on your own. That is so true. You can't do it on your own. A typical example, again, I will use myself, is when it was time, going to university, we're going to be going to university. I think it's one of the scariest things for me. It was one of the scariest things for me. Probably didn't admit it then, but it was.
Mm.
Because unlike when we went to university, we had gone to boarding school.
Yes.
We had gone to, we had gone to boarding school, so we've left home. But if you check, most of them, I know some people go to boarding school, but most of our kids, the first time they leave home is when they're going to university. Even though, okay, before she went to university, she did go to camp for a couple of weeks in the States, and I guess that was supposed to prepare me for when she goes to university, but not really.
Right.
Not really, because once they go to university, like we were told, like we knew when we got to university, is the world's your oyster. It's like, hey,
You can't.
yeah, I mean, you go to lectures, or you don't do exam, you don't do anything. Oh, that's okay with everything. Judgment day will come on the day result comes out. But the thing is, there's just nobody will let it. So, but I wanted to believe that everything, and thank God I did. I want to believe that everything that she has been taught, she will carry when she goes. But there, I still had that. Little, niggling fear. But thank God for the word of God. Thank God for prayer. Thank God for getting down on my knees. Thank God for, and when you talk about what I'm talking about now, people's experiences. So a very good friend of mine, who happens to be Golibe's godmother, actually. So she had twins in universities. They are older than Golibe, and when they went to university, one of the things she did was, okay, they had an agreement about they see each other once a month. And, and then she was saying that, so either she goes or, they come.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Why? And she said, well, the reason being is, these children, you would think they're grown. Not really. It's just an opportunity for us to spend time. And then if they need to talk, and if they don't need, or even basically seeing them, how they're doing, just have conversations. You go and they come around, they know that you're not far. You're not far away. You're not. You're around the corner.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I'm thinking, okay, that's an experience I want to. No child is the same, but that's an experience I want to take. So it's different ones, and that's what I did, and that helped me, because that helped me. Pardon?
I said, was that for you or for her?
Well, for both of us, I think. But but in saying that though, times they say, "Oh, mom, I can't. I'm not coming I won't be coming this month. I won't see," or stuff like that. But that we started off with that. But that spending time again, that relationship building, spending time with each other, being able to, the things that you're listening, the things that are not being said, and and again, think about it, struggling mental health, so that you can, so all those kind of things bubbling on my brain, and that for me helped me. But again, no child is the same, and never. But that's an experience I wouldn't have known that I learned from another parent.
Right.
So you can. It's not taking your child's mother, but you can learn. You can seek it, where you can learn from other people's experience, what people have done. And then also read books, but also another thing for me is research. When we send our child to university, it's not just okay, that's it, gone. No, you know, what we said, there's a lot of information we can Google, you know, things you can find on university websites. A lot of, you know, learn stuff, and then yes, and again, from your peers, from I think that is a good learning from people's parents, other parents' experiences. That has helped me a lot, actually. Parents before me, you
Okay.
know, you take because there might be ones that don't work for you. You don't have to take that, but the ones that you feel that work for you, yeah.
That's a good one. Because like I said, for me, it was the discussion, and they come back and you're like, so mom said this, and so and you're
No.
like, what's up with
And then you have
that?
to be careful what you say. When you go and learn,
What's
don't come
up
and
with
say this is
that?
what mom says.
You take what is relevant. Yes, Kev. You take what is relevant, what will work for your child. You
Yeah,
understand? Then you
yeah, exactly.
be able to junk the rest. One thing I'd also want to ask is, and I think you started alluding to it in the question before this one, is how much has your faith, how much part does your faith play in bringing up your child? I know there's a lot of allow children to, I mean, especially in this in the environment, in the society we live in, they're like, let children be children. I mean, we send them to school and they learn that which we wish they knew, and that which we didn't wish, that which we wish they didn't know. But how much has your faith, what part does your faith play in you being a mother?
Oh my gosh, a lot. I don't think I would have, I would have done or been able to do what I've done without my faith, where all those times I go on my knees and cry to God, and where I'm struggling, or where I need help, and thinking, especially when I think, like I said to you, probably like the sound of my voice, and then I would have said this thing, I would have scolded Olivia and thinking to my, oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't have done that, and then seeking to God to, for counsel, what's the best way to deal with this, and going back. So, and even in bringing her up, because one of them bringing her up, and remember one particular verse that as we've carried through, there are many verses, but we've got one particular verse that we've carried through from when she was growing up, when she did 11 class to when she invested in everything, is, the verse in the Bible that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I've used that a lot with her, reminding her that, there's nothing she can't do
All
through
right.
Christ who strengthens her. So even when, being her, being that when I do the African mom, going there, when one a typical example where one a teacher actually having to say, oh, I don't think that I don't think she should be doing this subject, this thing, because she will struggle, blah blah blah. Who are you to tell me she will struggle? That your job is to help her where she, and go in there, and I've told her that she can do all things through Christ, and then you're there telling her, I don't think she should do the subject. I don't think she should do that subject. I don't think she's going to be able to. What? And matching up to the school and saying, I don't want to hear it,
Right.
and then just reminding my exactly. And then when I say matching up to the school, but matching up, I would have prepared myself, and so that the right words would come out, and then
You don't go
going
along
out there
normal.
exactly, and then coming back and reminding her, because you have people out there that will push those negative words, or those people that will make a child feel that, oh, as much as your child works at making them feel as if now you can't do it, or or the kind of negative words they feel that, because those things affect children.
Mm-hmm.
And my faith, has helped me a lot in the sense of, how I navigate through that, how I, whatever it is, the words, that the right words to use, the way, going down on my knees in prayer when when there's a challenge. So yeah, it has actually, I don't think I would have been able to do it without my faith.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, as we rounding up, I know we can continue talking forever, you and I, Mama G. But what is one thing you would want to say to young people as a mom? Just as a mom, if you could address young people, what is one thing you would say to them?
Believe in yourself.
Brilliant.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens. Believe in yourself, and that's where I know we're saying one thing for younger, and that is where we moms come in. The positive affirmation, the positive words, keep, I know most of the time, they will say I get all mushy, I tell her that she's good, that she's good at what she does. I tell, give her, myself and her dad, those positive words, telling her that, oh, I think you're brilliant. I think you're this. Yeah, continue to do that. Believe in yourself, Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Excellent. And what would you say? What would one thing you would say to other moms?
What would I say to other moms?
Yeah.
What I would say to other moms is, just make now it's not going to be one thing. I think is build relationships with your children. It is key, and start before they become teenagers. And there's nothing wrong in actually when our children have done anything wrong that we actually tell them off. But also we use the one hand to tell them off, use the other hand to give them love, give them love, to say, I love you. I told you off, and then let them know the reason why.
Yes.
Why they did this. But at the same time, yeah, if you do it again, this is what they will do. But it doesn't mean I love you any less. I do love you, but all this thing is for your benefit. The reason why I'm doing this, and yes, continue to affirm, and the word of God that's helped me, and and it's, yeah, continue to, wherever any difficulty, because you can't. It's whatever it is I've done in my daughter's life, Godibe's life. I am so proud of her, by the way. I'm sure she would say, "Oh, Mom, it is the grace of God. It is not by my strength. So the grace of God can make that difference."
Brilliant.
Just rely on the word of God. Yeah.
Excellent.
And thank you so much for having me, though. Young and strong. I've watched every single.
Mama G, I mean, a big salute to all the moms out there. I mean, we're all doing great. I mean, moms are doing great. I don't think it's an easy role.
No, it isn't.
It isn't an easy role, but it's a role that you can get grace for from God, like you said. And I must commend you. I mean, I know your daughter, and I'm not just bragging. I know your daughter, and I'm proud of her myself, and all that. And hopefully now I've put it out there, she'll be coming on Young and Strong sometime. So Golibe, sorry, my mom sold you out. But,
And can I just add, Aunty T, just one more thing? Can I just add, teenagers, young adults, your moms love you. Sometimes we might not get it right and everything, but we want the best for you. And, with your help, we were navigating through it. But yes, your moms love you so much, and they just want the best. And it's just navigating through this world to be able to get it right. So moms, keep up the good work. And young ones also, keep up the good work, in making us proud.
Thank you. I mean, I wish we could go on, because I know there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot we can talk about. I mean, this is going to be just once a month when we'll get a mom, and we'll just come and talk, just come and talk as mom, because I talk to teenagers twice. Sorry, they get kind of like priority over you guys, but but that's just my passion. But Mama G, thank you so much. By the way, she said she doesn't know why I call her Mama G. Do you want me to tell them? Two reasons. One, because Mama G is Golibe's mom, and two, because there was a time when her hair was gold. So you remember that hair, Mama G?
Yes, I do.
That's how she became Mama G. But thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate, and I thank you for the nuggets you've shared with us today. I respect all moms. Thank you for all the moms on there that came. I saw Sister Boots.
Yeah, thank you to all of your moms that joined. Thank you so much.
Temi, Sister Janet. I think I saw Sister Shay as well. All of you, and the few dads that came on there. There's going to be a dad thing coming pretty soon, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. But we will talk to dads, because I think dads have a say as well. But Mama Chi, once again, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining Mom's Word. We'll be having the next one next month. Like I said, I'm talking to moms only once a month. I'm not doing two, And I know that if you want to join Young and Strong is twice. It's every second Tuesday, when you can come and hear what the young people say. And those guys are just amazing. They are.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And if you want to, I mean, I do save the lives on my profile, go listen to what they've said so far. They're amazing. Again, thank you, everyone. God bless you. Have a lovely week. Please stay safe, and God bless you. Mama G, thank you.
Bye. God bless.
Bye. 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 Bye.